What about the guy that's standing outside the car? After Lala shot him, I just seen his body just slide down the van. So we have Lala shoot, then T shoots. What if anything, what happens next? So T shot and he hit Lala. Lala was in the back seat. Screaming. He like, T, you shot me. And Romeo told him, like, lift your arm up. Sit your arm up on your lap. Make sure you don't get no blood in the van. Then he looked up. He see a bunch of police. And when you see the police, what if anything did you say? Did you say anything? Yes. Romeo said, pass the guns up front. Did those individuals in the back pass the guns up front? No. Okay, what happened next? We continued going straight to where the police was at, and the police was like pointing like their guns like at all the cars because there was so many cars. They didn't know like where the shots came from. Okay. Where, if anything, did the minivan go? We then bust a left. We turned left. Were the police behind you? When we turned left, the police was not behind us. Okay. Were you going at a high rate or speed, or were you going slow? No, we was going at like a regular pace. Okay. At some point, did you find out that the police were behind you? Yes. Once we turned left and we turned left, then we turned left again, and like you could hear everybody saying, it's the van. So Romeo sped up and got the driving, and he flew like down the street. We was flying down the street. And as we flying down the street, it was like a police car like almost hit us because somehow Romeo did some type of swerving move or something, and the police car didn't hit us. Where did you go after that? After that, I ran. We looked back. Romeo like, ain't no police in sight. We ain't see no police. We all jumped out and ran. Did you go in the same direction as anybody? No. They all went their direction. I went a direction of my own. Okay, where did you go? I was running, jumping them gates and jumping people's backyard, and I landed up in like some Mexican's backyard. At some point, did you make your way back over to the block on Elizabeth? Yes, I did. How did you get there? Raven and Boogie had came and picked me up. How did they know where you were? I had called them. Now, when you guys went to go do the shooting, were you dressed in a certain way or were you dressed regular? We try to have like black hoodies, black hats, black gloves. And did you have that on this day? This day we had black hats and black gloves. Yes, we did. Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the government would move into evidence Government Exhibit 1272. I don't believe there's an objection from counsel. Any objection to submission of Government Exhibit 1272? No. No, sir. No. It will be admitted without objection. You may publish. May I approach the witness, Your Honor? You may. Thank you. What's in front of you is Government Exhibit 1272. Do you see that? Yes. What's that? A pair of black gloves. Are those the gloves that you had on the day of the shooting? Yes. Thank you. Was anybody arrested that day? Yes. Who? Lala. Okay. When you got back to Elizabeth, who was there? Old man, Boom, my brother, and let me see, like Romeo, and like some of the people who was with us in the trail cars. And when you say your brother, which brother are you talking about? Alvin. Okay. Lala, who we saw, what if any relationship does he have to old man? That is his nephew. Old man? Lala is old man's nephew? Correct. And who was old man, if you just remind us? Old man, he was the leader of ETG. When you got back there, what was the feeling of what was going on? They asked us, they like, what's going on? What happened? So we told them so when I say they and we, who asked what was going on? Old man and Boom. And who is Boom? Lala's brother. And when you say they asked us what happened, who is us? Like me and Romeo and some of the people who was out there. And using names, who tells Old Man and Boom what happened? I tell them what happened. Okay, what did you tell them that happened? I told them that we was sliding on the ops and Lala had shot someone, but don't know if they dead. And in the process of him shooting someone, T shot him and we went on a high-speed chase with the police. What if anything was said back to you? They was like, when you say they, who said it? Like old man and Boom. They was like upset. They was like basically like if T wouldn't have shot Lala, that was a clean getaway. Okay, I want to move forward to December 15th. This is just for the witness, Your Honor. Go ahead. The government would have moved to admit Government Exhibit 1501 into evidence. I don't think there's an objection. Any objection to the admission of Government Exhibit 1501? No. No, sir. No. 1501 will be admitted without objection. You may publish. What's in front of you is Government Exhibit 1501. Do you see that? Yes. Do you know that person? Yes. Who is that? DeMarco Bennett. How do you know DeMarco Bennett? We was like clicked up with him a while back. And if you could explain to the members of the jury, when you say you clicked up with somebody, what does that mean? Like we was joined together as one. They problems is our problems is their problems. And what does that cause you guys to do, if anything, together? That causes us like riding together, sliding together, doing stuff together. And was DeMarco Bennett a member of a gang? Yes. Which gang? CMB. Do you know what CMB stands for? I think Cash Money Boys. At some point, did you attend a funeral of an individual named Jackie Barnes where DeMarco Bennett and Romeo Blackman were present? Yes. Do you remember when that was? I don't remember the exact date, but I remember attending the funeral. Yes, I do. Okay, who was Jackie Barnes? He was a CMB member. And at the point that you went to the funeral, was Goonie and CMB, as you say, clicked up? That's when we like finalized everything, like got everything together, like we together as one. Okay, at the funeral. And were you present when that clicking up, that finalization of your agreement happened? Yes, I was. Who else was present? Romeo Blackman. Anyone else that you remember? I believe my brother Alvin as well. And what's that? What was the point of this agreement? The point of this agreement was to make their problems our problems, make our problems their problems, just come together as one. Okay, so let's educate everybody. Why would you do that? Why would we do that? Well, basically Can you rephrase the question one more time for me? Sure. Why would you take on someone else's problems? Basically because it's probably like some similar, like they probably was into it with similar people we was into it with. Judge, objection. Hang on a sec. Hang on. What's the objection? Speculation. Lay a foundation. Sustain. Sure. Did you have opposition gang members, Goonie? Yes, we did. Did C&B have opposition gang members? Yes, they did. Did you share any similar opposition gang members? Judge, this is leading. Let me see you at sidebar. Mr. Vaughn, I'm going to remind you. Stay close to the mic and speak up so everybody can hear you, okay? Yes. When you lean back, don't say anything. Make sure you're close to the mic so that everybody can hear what you're saying. Okay? Okay. Alright. What if any similar opposition gang members did Goonie and C&B have? We was into it with the BDs. And C&B was also into it with the BDs? Correct. And who are the BDs? You say who are they? Yes. Like Dog Pound, the BDs of Hazlitt. They like BDs. Like they on like 67th and low, 63rd and low. Okay. Now what if any conversation took place about who had killed Jacquees Barnes? They had. When you say they, who are we talking about? Marco. Okay. We was at a funeral. They had said, I think somebody from EA had killed Jacquees. Okay. And at this time, you said the agreement was finalized. Is that right? Correct. Sustained. Disregard the last question and answer. Counsel, you are instructed by the court not to ask a leading question. That one wasn't even a question. Do not ask another leading question again. Understood. I've already sustained the objections. I will not do so another time. Do you understand? Understood. Go ahead, pose a question. Thank you, Your Honor. I like to show just the witness. Go ahead. Government, would you move to admit Government Exhibit 1523 into evidence? I don't believe that's any objection. Any objections to the admission of Government Exhibit 1523? No. No, sir. No. It will be admitted without objection. You may publish. Thank you, Judge. Mr. Vaughn, what's in front of you is Government Exhibit 1523. Do you know what that is? Yes. What is that? That's the car Marco be driving. Had you ever been in that car? Yes. Why? We had slot on the BDs. When you say we, who are you talking about? Me, Romeo, Marco, and Little Steve. Who is Little Steve? Stephen Wilborn. Was he a member of a gang? Yes, C&B. Did there come a time... Do you know an individual by the name of Smiley? Yes, I do. Did there come a time where you... Is Smiley still alive? No, he's not. Have you ever heard about his death? Yes, I have. Who have you heard it from? Romeo Blackman. Was that in conversation? Yes, it was. Was the conversation in person or over the phone? In person. Where did this conversation take place? At my brother's house. Which brother? Alvin. Who was present when this conversation took place? It was me, Alvin, and like Boosie, E-Boogie, and a couple of the shorties. All those members of Goonie? Yes. Do you remember when this conversation took place? Yes. When? Right after Romeo was released from the murder of Smiley. If you could you tell the members of the jury what Romeo told you about the murder of Smiley? Yes. So Romeo called us one night saying, I need you all to come get me. So we all like, what? He like, I need you all to come get me. They releasing me. So I believe a female went and picked him up. And objection. Sustained. Let's talk about, pose a question. Let's talk about Romeo told you. Okay? Okay. So what did Romeo tell you? So basically Romeo, he told me, I'm like, what happened? Because, you all supposed to keep him in. Marco has supposed to pick me up that morning. I'm like, what happened? So he told me, he like, Marco had wound up coming to get him from my brother's house on May early in the morning. And him and Marco, they was riding around trying to find an opposition, trying to find someone to get down on. And Romeo said they went up May and they seen Smiley outside. They spin the block and Marco, he said, Marco told him like Smiley was op. So he like, okay, well, spin back around. So as they spin back around, Romeo said they pull up on Smiley. And as they pull up on Smiley, Romeo say him and Smiley could have conversations. Smiley like, what's up? He said, Judge, excuse me, can we break this down into questions instead of a lengthy narrative? He's relating the conversation, but counsel, why don't you go ahead and pose a question so we can follow it? Sure. So let's go back a bit. You said they spun around the block. What does it mean to spin around the block? Basically, it's like to go back around. Okay. After Romeo told you that they went to spin around the block, what did he say to you next? Next, he said they pulled up on Smiley. Him and Smiley was having a conversation. Smiley like, what you want? He like, no, just chilling, just hitting blocks. And then Romeo says Smiley was rolling up a blunt. And Smiley told him like, shit, get out, smoke with me. Romeo said he had the gun in his hand already. He said as he got out the car, he just started shooting him. He said he was so close. He told me I was so close. I was seeing little picks in his head, polka dots in his head. After he told you that, what else did he tell you? After that, he said he jumped back in the car and they drove off. They drove off and they went up to Aberdeen and Marco passed the stop sign. He ain't stop at the stop sign. That would make the police get on him. Romeo said he jumped out the car and ran up the stairs in the house and talked to Nina, his baby mama. Okay, so let's take a step back. You said you went to Aberdeen. Is there someone that lives on Aberdeen? Yes, my brother Alvin, his baby mama, and Romeo baby mama at the time stayed on Aberdeen as well. And you said he told you he ran up to the second floor? Yes. How is that? Do you know what that house, does that house have 1 floor, 2 floors? Yes, it has 2 floors. What, if anything, did he tell you after he said he ran up to the second floor? He said he ran up to the second floor. He ran to the back to open the back door. Opened the back door, threw the gun over some yards. And did he tell you anything else about it? After that, he said he changed his clothes and had Ty piss on his hands. And when you say Ty, who's that? His baby mama. Does she have any relation to any other Goonie members? Yes, she does. Who? That's Tuka big sister.